What? Black people meditate? What?
I ain't gonna get wrong, I ain't gonna get my spirit taken. Oh no, honey, this is a cult. My mama told me not to trust these people.
Hey, Atavia here, and today's video is gonna be a little different than what I'm used to doing. Well, what I'm used to doing on my channel, because as you can see, this is gonna be about meditation. What? Black people meditate? What? I know, it's a myth. It's, you know, I'm a myth. I am doing this video to speak to everyone of every culture, but I'm not gonna lie, I do hope that this reaches Black people, because for some reason, spirituality, other than Christianity, like spirituality, self-love, self-discovery, it's like a taboo thing in the Black community. So this is why I make videos, to reach people who aren't spoken for and all of that. But this is a universal video. Alright, so today's video, now that sidebar is over, today's video I want to talk about my experience doing the 10-day meditation known as Vipassana. Before we get started and before I explain to you what this whole thing is, make sure you hit that subscribe button to see more videos. If you like this video, if it's entertaining, if it's informative, more than anything, if it's informative, leave a like and leave a comment down below if you've gone through Vipassana, if you know what it is. If you're curious about it, I'd love to answer your questions, because I have done the whole 10 days. I made it. Whew. Lord knows that was a wild ride, but I made it through. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, curiosities, just leave a comment down below and we can talk about it in the comments. All right, subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is ataviatatiana, and also I do have a blog, a fashion blog, ataviatatiana.com. so if you want to check that out, go ahead and hit that link in the description bar. If you don't know, Vipassana is a 10-day silent meditation, meaning you ain't talking, you ain't on your phone, you ain't texting. There's no phones. Your phone gets taken away at the beginning of the course, and even if you have a roommate, you're supposed to observe noble silence throughout the whole 10 days. There is a brief period where you're allowed to talk to your teachers, but really you're supposed to avoid it in order to like come more in center with yourself, which makes a lot of sense actually. When you're not talking and blabbering out a whole bunch of crap, you really get in touch with what's inside, which is good, and it's also scary. So it's 10 days of noble silence, and you're doing about 10 hours of meditation each day. Of course, they're broken up into increments, different increments. I think it was about 5 maybe. I could be wrong. I don't have the schedule with me. But there are long periods of meditation, and yes, there are breaks, there are lunch periods, there are snack periods. You get to walk around outside, you get to see the beautiful nature, yes, but it is essentially 10 hours of meditation, and you have to be able to position yourself in such a way that you can sit without disturbances during the meditation periods. And that in itself is challenging, okay? This is gonna be my experience with it and some tips that I have to give, all right? That was a mouthful. Are you ready for this video? Stay tuned. There's so many things to be said about this experience, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. And I really want like everyone to experience it. Honestly, it's a donation-based thing. So at the end of the course, you give what you feel like you got out of it. So there's no payment. You don't have to pay. Food is included. Board is included. You just gotta get there. So there's no excuse for you not to do it, not to try it out. So my experience, the first day, let's go through one day at a time, because really that's the kind of course it was. You really have to take it day by day. There's no telling what you're going to experience the next day, and I will say it was an emotional roller coaster for sure. So technically the first day starts the night that you arrive. You arrive at like 2 to 5, at least the course that I went to. First day starts at like the 7 p.m. meditation. The first day I was pretty PO'd. Because first of all, we arrived and we pull up to this desert place and I'm like, what the freak? Why am I in the middle of the desert? This is BS. I don't want to be in the desert. Like, I want to be where the trees and the grass grows green and high and it smells of like pine wood. So first of all, I bring that anger with me. And I'm also angry because I discovered that I have a roommate. This was all the first day. I was mad that I had a roommate. I was like so angry. I like tried to get out of it. I went to go talk to the teachers about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I have anxiety. I can't be sleeping in a room with somebody I don't even know. And of course, they ain't listening to you, but yes. But I had to work through that. I had to work through it. And during meditation that day, I realized why I was so angry. And it's because I just had a history of not having my own space, and I cherish my own space so much. And I'm like, if I'm gonna come all the way, I already have roommates at home, okay? If I'm gonna come all the way here out in the middle of the desert, I wanna be alone. And I wasn't getting that for 10 days, so I had to come over that hurdle real quickly, or else I was gonna be miserable the whole time. That's also a key. You gotta deal with your stuff when it comes up. You can't let it boil and ruin your experience for 10 days. You're only there for 10 days. You gotta cut some stuff out. You ain't got time to be carrying stuff from one day to another day. It's gonna ruin your whole experience. Trust me, let it go. Deal with it, move on. Then I discovered that it was like something deep inside, some kind of traumas that I was dealing with in my life. It was connected to that. So day 2, I was still a little mad about the roommate situation, but I didn't let it ruin my experience. And day 2 kind of just cruised by. Day 3, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I see why people do this. This is the best experience ever. This is so eye-opening. So many things were happening. And then the night of day 3 during meditation, oh my gosh, I guess I must have went so deep in my meditation, something came over me. I was bawling in meditation, bawling my eyes out. I could not stop crying. I started talking to people that are no longer in my life. It was like a lot of stuff was happening. And it's like, what? I've never experienced this in my life. Okay, I don't meditate. Prior to this, I didn't meditate on a daily basis. So I can't say I was connected to this stuff. And I was just like, I went in the whole experience with an open mind. I didn't know what to expect. I've never meditated 10 days straight. I've never made it to that point in my life. I meditated here and there for like 20-30 minutes and then I would fall asleep. So this whole experience was a new thing for me, let's be honest. But I did like the idea of meditating and spirituality. I am on a journey of that, and I was like in search of something. I definitely found something in Vipassana. Day 3 almost made me want to go home because I experienced something so deep that I was afraid of. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to leave. I want to get up. I want to give up. I want to go call my mom and go home. But thing is, I carpooled, so I had no choice but to stay for the rest of the 7 days. So I had to get over that, okay? There's going to be a reoccurring thing in this video. It's gonna be get over it because you only got 10 days. So day 4 for me went by, came and gone. It was fine. I started getting used to walking around in the path. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I started enjoying the desert. I started feeding ants. There was like ants, when you would go on the walking path, there would be ants and their little ant hills, and I would start taking my breakfast, like little nuts, and I would feed it to individual ants. It was wild. So day 5 came and went. It was nice. Day 6, day 7, I was just over it. I was annoyed. And then day 8, I'm like, oh my gosh, this experience is so beautiful. I started getting into the meditation, everything. I started loving it. And by day 8, you're like, oh my gosh, this experience is almost over. What am I gonna do? I don't know what to do with my life after this. And day 9 came and went, and then day 10. Day 10 was a beautiful day because the noble silence was released. So we got to start talking to people. And then I remember thinking, on day 9, what if it were to rain? On the last day, that would be amazing. I love the rain. I think it's so refreshing. And then comes day 10. And after our last meditation, what do we walk outside to? droplets of rain. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys about the freaking sunsets. You guys have ever been in the desert and witnessed a desert sunset, like flat land, you get to see the whole sky? Day 10 had the most gorgeous sunset I've ever seen in my life. It was like fire breathing. It was insane. I've never seen anything like that in my life. So that's like the gist of my ups and downs. But now I want to get into like tips and things that I experienced. But I also remember thinking on day 1, because if you're a new student, you don't really know how things go. So on day 1, we were ending our meditation, and then SN Goenka, the founder of this technique, the one who brought it to like different countries, he starts meditating. You can hear his voice meditating, and he starts chanting, and then all of a sudden the old students start chanting with him, and I'm like, oh my god, this is cool.
I ain't gonna get wrong, I ain't gonna get my spirit taken. Oh no, honey, this is a cult. My mama told me not to trust these people.
But it's not a cult. You gotta relax. For me, Vipassana was like having a bird's eye view on my life. The moral of Vipassana is for you to find your own happiness and what it means, the truest form of happiness, the art of living. That's what it says on the paper. Vipassana, meditation, the art of living. And I do truly believe that it was like a neutral experience. It wasn't trying to lean you toward, you gotta believe in this thing in order to have happiness. It was just like, you can find happiness through just being honest with yourself and releasing these things that you cling to, or having expectations of things, and just those things that cause misery, because when you don't get what you expected, you become upset about it, and that causes misery. So overall, I would say Vipassana is a very neutral experience, so it doesn't matter what religion you're coming from. It's not trying to shake you up and trying to steal you and have you believe something else. No, it's just trying to get you to believe in your truest form of yourself, which I think is quite beautiful. It really forces you to deal with everything you are. You can either fight it and have a terrible 10-day experience, or you can deal with it and grow from it and have a wonderful experience like I did. Even though on the website it may say a meditation retreat, girl, it is not a retreat. It's not an escape from life. So make sure you arrange your bills, because you're not gonna have your phone. So if you don't arrange your bills ahead of time, stuff is gonna happen. So I'm gonna say, make sure you arrange all your payments, get it all in order before you turn off your phone, because your phone is gonna be gone for 10 days. You gotta be open. You have to have an open mind, or else you're gonna miss everything that Goenka is teaching. And another tip, pay attention to the discourses. Before the last meditation, there's a discourse every night. It is so helpful, insightful. It gives you hope for the next day. He's basically going over how the day was and probably accurately depicting your experience in the day. And he basically gives you tips. So pay attention to discourses. They are very helpful. Vipassana also made me question like my morality and the things that I consume, because I started noticing that I had little habits where I would just selfishly act and like take all the food, take like a full plate of food even though I know there's a lot of people behind me, or it was just a lot of little things that made big things in my life, like made big changes in my life. And please, oh my gosh, please bring your own alarm clock that's not startling. I can't tell you, they have alarm clocks in the room, yes, but I can't tell you how many times my roommate and I would set the alarm clock for our meditation so we wouldn't be late, and we're deep in meditation, and then all of a sudden we hear like a blaring alarm clock, and it's so alarming and so irritating. Like, please, please, please bring your own alarm clock that's like subtle and that's not gonna startle you out of meditation space, because that's such a sacred space that when you're alarmed, it's just so annoying. So please help yourself, okay? And also bring slip-on shoes. You're gonna be taking your shoes off on and off within like minutes, you know, there's gonna be minutes. You're gonna put your shoes on, and then In 30 seconds, you're taking them back off to go in the meditation hall. So just bring slip-on shoes. Don't bring shoes that are gonna take you 20 years to put on and take off. Bring slippers. A lot of people were walking around in slippers. They're the smart ones, okay? And I think that's all I have, you know? Like, I wrote down a lot of stuff. You can see this. As soon as we were allowed to have paper and pen again, I wrote down all of the stuff that was on my brain for 10 days. So it just felt very important to get this out. So many things came up for me. Like, I discovered that I'm a writer. I knew I was a creator, but I didn't realize that I like writing. So now I'm writing things and I'm doing poetry, which I never even thought I would do. And I'm writing movie scripts and plays, and it's just wild the things that are discovered when you're deep in your true self. It gave me a space to breathe. If you're in a city, you know, like, there's people everywhere. There's no time to sit and rest. You gotta be on the grind, be on the move. We all know that life, but Vipassana, it just gave me 10 days of breathing. That's so valuable, y'all. And I want you guys to really experience it. I would say Vipassana is something to be experienced. Anyone should do it. Everyone should do it. There are actually kids courses, so kids do it too. So there's no excuse. It don't cost you nothing, but it's kind of, for me, it awakened a lot of things that I wouldn't have even seen in my life. And I am forever grateful for that. Some things are just invaluable and I want to share. So please do yourself a favor and at least try Vipassana. What's it gonna hurt? Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, my name is Ataviatatiana. Bye.